Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Frost and Fire. So before I get started, I want to go over some of the feedback I received from all of you. But firstly, I wanted to show my confusion about the impressiveness. So if you take a look at Phoenix and JD's bedrooms, they are identical. Identical in every way possible. The same wealth, the same space, the same beauty. What was confusing to me is that Phoenix's bedroom is reporting dirt even though there is no dirt, reducing its impressiveness from slightly impressive to decent. That was what I was confused about. I had a lot of people in the comments sort of speculating about what was going on, but actually that was the confusion, is that all three of these bedrooms are impressiveness 50, as you can see, but one of them is decent, the other two are slightly impressive, and it's because the filth of a bedroom doesn't update often enough to, and I caught it when it was not updating. You can see this often when you generate filth and it's hard to, you can't target to clean up. It's because the filth engine, I guess, updates more slowly. Some other feedback I got. Turtle Sandwich mentioned that I should A, turn on some coolers because it is warming up and I'm going to regret not doing that. So in order to turn on coolers, I would need to remove the chimney roof area. And then another tip I got was, while it is cold, I should redesign the NPM so that in peak heat it doesn't melt, it doesn't spoil. So for that, I'm going to set my constructors up to tier 1 construction, and we will get started on that. As you can see, I'm breaking down a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to remove this, some of the inner granite walls because I have a limited access to granite, obviously. And as a result, I would like to instead replace it with steel. So some of those inner granite walls are going to be ripped up. And we'll get our constructors working on that. And there they go. So these will be replaced with steel. Speaking of steel, I am going to want my animals to be unrestricted, but not even only that, I'm going to set them to priority hauling. And I'm going to have them priority haul steel that I have mined. I'm also going to be dramatically changing a lot of the layout here, because another tip was from Christopher. Christopher reminded me that I did mention I wanted to build another farm, and I'm going to work on that, but it is going to be expensive. It's going to be a bit of a base redesign that I've been begrudgingly neglecting for a while because of its complexity and cost, but I think it's about time. So now that we're oh, we have a mech hive scattered. There's a bunch of mechs directly in the kill box here. So let's see, we've got one just outside of our walls, we've got two actually just outside of our walls. We've got 3 directly into the kill box, and then 2 south. So I'm going to have these mechs welcomed by a flurry of turret fire. Hopefully they're not incendiary launching centipedes. Nope, they are not. Bunch of scythers. Are they all scythers? Scyther. 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 Scythe. Okay, they're all scythers. And we'll play the turn off the turret, keep it alive game. While they're out there, guess what, animals? You're going to be restricted again. I am sorry. There's just... Yep, that's the safest thing to do. And we'll speed up time and clear these guys out, because this is not challenging to kill a bunch of scythers. I think there's only, what, 4 left? Let me see. 5 left. Oh yeah, here's all 5. Hello, Gabe. Gabe is like, ooh, scythers. Let me go hug one. Yeah, no, let's get you out of there, Gabe. Okay, 3. Now this will cost a lot of steel, which will inevitably somewhat set back my plans to make the farm. But, I mean, that can't really be helped. So it seems that because of this steam geyser, a lot of the scythers have a southward preference for pathing because of the lack of snow here. In the summer, that will change, because in the summer, all the snow will melt, and there won't be a southern preference anymore. But that's interesting that in the snow, they'll prefer to go south. So it actually means that if I had a sizable raid enough, I might actually want to shovel a line of the snow in the middle of my kill box. But all right, we are done there. Animals go priority hauling again. And I am now going to start to lay out where I want a farm. So this is pretty cool. This base is redesigned. So one thing I need to do is to move the pod and pod launcher. So I'm going to get that. I'll put it here, actually. Get that moved away. But let's finish this chimney here first. So actually, let me forbid this because it is more urgent. Because as it is warming up, I'm not going to be able to redesign my freezer without a whole lot of everything spoiling. So we've got an impressive construction quest again for a Silink neuroformer. Just more tasks that require resources that I'm low on. Okay, I probably will accept that, but not immediately. So here is the additional freezers. As you can see, that's a lot more. That should be good. And we'll change the size of the freezer and then the layout of the cabling to be correct. Awesome. So this is the top priority for right now. And then the chimneys are going to be removed where appropriate as well. All right, Hippie, that's going to be your last sculpture for a bit. And then once we have all the sculptures, I will send them to my ally, or my soon-to-be ally. So it is good. Okay. Now these new coolers are going to need to be set to -2, which is the temperature of this freezer that we're keeping it at. -2 Fahrenheit, that is. And then this heater should be like at -6 or something, so it's not competing with the coolers. There we go. It's larger and definitely, I would say, better chilled. So we shouldn't have spoilings. Speaking of spoilings, we need to make some NPM. So whoever goes next for a meal gets to make the next batch of NPM. Whenever anyone eats. Now that that's built, let's set this up. So what we were going to do is put in a pod launcher, or was it here? Yep. To move this in this spot. And with things warming up, we're not going to need as many heaters on. So I'm going to flick about half of them off. Gabe, have you been mining? You've definitely been slagging. Speaking of slag, let's get that as another source of steel. And then also our machining table, because we have a lot of scythers to chop up. And I think my constructors have probably repaired. It appears to me that they've repaired all these turrets. Great. So we're no longer vulnerable. We have a visitor from the machinist, Penguin. Well, that's fitting. It's -22. You're a nudist wearing clothing. Got it. So I am going to be moving my trade zone about as far south as it can go. One thing I want to do is maybe mine up a little bit of the perimeter here to make more space. So that's definitely a Gabe job. We'll get him to do that in just a sec. And he's already leaving. Bye. Yeah, it's cold at nights. It's definitely warmer during the day. And down here, I'm going to be setting up my farm. This is where the farm's going to go. The new farm. And we're just going to mine out to the edge of the overhead mountain. The pod here should be set for fuel 1, so it's launchable, but barely. And let's get a pod there. So I'm moving my nutrient, my Resmec serum and my Doomsday Launcher down in that spot. So this here will cancel load and be deconstructed. And then down here, we will load as soon as it's fueled. Hippie, can you fuel it? And this serves two purposes. I just want to make it clear. One, it protects it from tantrums. And two, if I ever need Doomsday Launcher or Resmec Serum, I can send it anywhere on this map tile. So for instance, if I was in a really nasty fight up here and I needed a Doomsday Launcher, I could then launch my Doomsday Launcher into place, which is phenomenal. It's phenomenal for its speed of security, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the trade beacon is going to be moved down here into this location, and I am going to add sandstone columns, actually maybe in that spot to support it. All right, and we found the overhead mountain now. So we'll mine no deeper. Done. And that means I can get rid of some of these older columns that no longer really are supporting anything. Because this roof is going to be supported by this wall and this column, and this will probably have to move too. All right, so that means we are going to be removing the raw resource zone, creating a stockpile here, which will be copied and pasted. Okay, a little bit of a collapse, but that doesn't really concern me at the moment. Then this raw resources is going to be shoved over in this spot here, where the old stockpile used to be. Like that. And animal priority hauling should now include really this whole zone, so that my pets that can haul can help move things where they belong. And yeah, that's perfect. All right, let's not forget about my insect meat that I've got, my fowl meat, for whoever gets the next meal. Hippie is playing piano. Okay, that won't be her. Bash is playing horseshoes. Won't be him. Someone's going to eat a simple meal. Okay, Raptor. It is going to be Raptor. So Raptor, you're going to be assigned nutrient paste meals, and I'm going to forbid them all. So you're going to go make some. And then I'm going to have you whip up a batch. All that meat. Done. And done. Turn this off. Fantastic. See a lot of smoke leaf use. I don't really like that. Actually, I'm not going to keep silver there. Not unless I have to. So this turret here, I'm just going to move. I'm not going to move it yet, but it will have to move at some point if it is not to take up space. Quest expires. Well, yeah, I'll accept this. I have 33 days to complete it, and that will be a neuroformer for Hippie, which will bring her up to 3, which is pretty good. Now, I don't really have a lot of psi casts for her, which is why I don't bother having her do any psi focus gain, because her psi casts are Neural Heat Dump and Word of Trust. Neither I find useful really at all, sadly. But at some point I'll be able to buy it, and that will be helpful. So the sun lamp. I need to be putting a sun lamp here. Actually, let's get that built and put dead power underneath it so I can use it to help lay everything out. Before I forget, let's send some goods for our allies. So I want a little bit of an alliance so that I can call in trade caravans. So I'm going to send my pack of survival meals, and I'm going to send the 4 jade because it's such an incomplete stack. I'm going to send the dead mega scarabs because why not? It's a way to get rid of waste, and some tattered pants, and we'll send that along to them. Taking a look at my gold here, I can definitely see my gold is pretty low, so that signals to me that I'm going to, especially now that it is becoming more temperate, move my deep drill back up here in this location and get Gabe to get some gold, but I will have to have a lot of steel too. Marauder encampment. 11 skeletons for camp loot. So Raptor has the shuttle that he can call in, so camp loot could be particularly helpful. We'll see. All right, so this is the sun lamp, and having it built and turned off will allow me to see where I can lay out the tables. So the tables are going to go vertical, much like the last one. It would help if I would paint it correctly. And I'm going to keep these forbidden until I'm really ready to go. So there is a pillar there that obviously is going to have to be moved. Oops. And that's going to be my location. So at this point, all of everything here is going to be double walled for insulation. And then I'm going to have to decide... roughly where... Like, I could put a light in here, and then where I'm going to add some heat and AC. So I think the AC and heat will go... in this spot where this light is. Adding a chimney in this area. Who's available to move that light? Hippie is. Because that's as many coolers as the other one has. And then that means that... Let me move that a little bit. So this is going to require heaters. So the other one has like a bunch of heaters. So we'll say in this location, we have 6 heaters there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heaters here. And 4 coolers, which mimics what the other one is. I don't really like the layout of these coolers, though. That one's okay. So something like that. And then we can put a chimney here in this spot. This will have to move, obviously. Okay. Cool. So let's get this built. I'm going to forbid one of these southern walls so that we can haul stuff out of here more quickly. And then I'm actually going to set everyone to super haul and remove them from construction just so that we can tidy up the workspace, because it's really hard for me to see what I'm doing with all the junk everywhere. It's kind of a pain. In fact, Raptor, yeah, Raptor's going to be hauling too. All right, the launch is ready. This is getting sent to the machinist for friendship. And now we're allied. I'm going to wait until it's very, very, very temperate in order to call them in as a trade caravan. So that I'm able to trade with them and not have them leave the map tile. Really? Really, guys? Oh boy. Was that necessary? Luckily, it's only bruises, but that's 2 people that go straight to the hospital. Alright, fine. Raptor is a pretty good doctor, so I'm going to have JD do both their tendings so that I can train him up a bit more. So the priority hauling of animals now, I'm going to have the animals priority haul for raw resources, for steel primarily. So is there steel out? Yeah, there's steel out there. Good. So we're almost done tidying this up. So I'm going to put a light in there. And basically double wall this whole thing so that it's easier to insulate like that. Sweet. Big thing hunting Glitch the gorilla for food. Okay, Glitch and Maverick. All my animals are somewhere dangerous, so we're gonna have to react to this quickly. Unfortunately, 2 of my shooters are currently wounded, but Maverick and Glitch should be able to get inside before these big things react. And now they're hunting me. Now, one of the beautiful things is they're manhuntered, but I can still berserk them. So I'm going to have them fight each other while I kill them. I'm going to start shooting the other one too. You know, spread the damage around so that there isn't a clear winner. The beauty of psychic powers. Make sure to be hitting this one, please. We didn't do enough of that. But I can chaos skip it a few times. Make sure it gets nice and wounded. There we are. And this will be, of course, good meat for my pets. Don't consume it. You don't have to stay fortified. Unforbid your zone. All right, the quest expires in 4 hours. I don't want to forget it, so I'll accept it. And this bad boy is going to go up here. This is done, so I can deconstruct this entirely and then replace it with a new one. Our monument garden, I guess you could call it. All right, this is looking really good. I'm going to have a door here instead of a wall, and then this wall will be completed. Great. Gabe and Hippie, are you sorry? Are you sorry? I hope they're sorry. So now, I'm going to start to do some dramatic base redesign, as you can see here. Breaking a lot of things down. Because I'd also like to introduce a hospital. So down here we need a double insulated wall as well, and let's actually build this one. And we'll put a light here. So the reason I had lights, it's probably pretty obvious to most of you, but the reason I had lights is so that at nighttime we can still harvest and replant quickly. because if you don't have lights, you're doing in the dark, and that's slower. So there's my farm. And then this is going to turn into a hallway. So vent. All that's going to get removed. The power that's there is going to be removed as well, which means we'll have to complete the circuit over here. All that power is going to be removed too. And the circuit's going to have to be completed over here. That's fine. It's a big change. Okay. Next person that goes for more nutrient paste, or for more regular meals, Raptor. Nope, you're feeding Gabe. Then the power is going to have to run around the interior of this farm so I can actually turn on these stuff. Like that. It's too bad that 2 of my colonists just hurt themselves. Got in a fight. It's definitely going to slow down some progress. And it's also going to make this area more accessible, which is kind of nice. Hidden added benefit to this redesign. All right, animals, you can now priority haul for me. There's not beak things out there. These columns are not necessary anymore because they're held up by the walls adjacent. And then all of the flooring that we had put in, I'm going to tear out. We are actually getting a proper hospital now, so. Now, for me to change the priority of pod drops, I'm going to have to uninstall this orbital trade beacon and reinstall it. So I'm going to remember to queue that up. Gabe, you are not going to bed rest because the farm is ready for you. Did you start that social fight? Yes, you did. You slandered her and she threw fisticuffs at you. You really... Well, you don't really care for her, but she really hates you. So actually, I'm going to word of love her for him. Words of love isn't necessarily romance. Oh, and it can just be relationship. So now she hates him a little bit less. It's not that significant, but a little bit less. To mend some fences. All right, so the chimney is going to look something like this. Right? And we'll put a door in here to gain access to the chimney. So let's go ahead and remove the roof on that. It is also quickly becoming warmer. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit out. So I'm going to want to shut off even more of the heater soon and turn on the coolers eventually. We're not quite at cooler point yet. That would be about 70. So it's 9 Celsius and the coolers are more like 21. But we're getting close. We're getting close to that point. All right. So now that that's done, the other project is going to be this one. So we are going to want to add some coolers for the base, and also for a. I'm going to have this be a little bit more elegant, even though it's less cooling. I'm going to have it for the base and also for a research/hospital room that will be placed here. So we're going to have a research hospital room in this area. So it's going to look something like this. I want a clear path so that people don't have to walk into the hospital. And then I'll probably want the hospital with only a door and a forbidden door back there. And then its layout will be something like this. It's going to allow for a research bench here. I'll move the multi-analyzer eventually, and then we'll have it all sterile with beds here and like shelves and vital monitors and all that. So there you go, hospital setting, and it will be AC'd here, as you can see. So good stuff. It's just, again, going to require more resources, a lot more steel. And unfortunately, Gabe is kind of laid up because of the social fight, so. Bit of a problem, but. And now we have enough room to double insulate between us and the outside, so that's a good annexation, I would say. It's a pretty good annexation. All right, pets, you are not priority hauling because I don't think there's anything to priority haul anymore. So what I'll do is I'll instead unrestrict haul and allow them to haul whatever they want. It's becoming warm enough that the snow is melting now. And I keep forgetting about the fowl meat, so we are going to need to do that soon. How long do I have? Day and a half? I should be able to manage that. Little feedback event. And an exotic goods trader flying overhead. Oh, okay. So if there's an exotic goods trader, I need to do a few things. I need to have a way to power up my beacon. So I'm going to wake up JD and Bash, and then I'm going to need to switch. Oh, this beacon's already switched. Good. JD, don't walk away. He wants to rest, so I'm just going to force it. Okay, so now this should be able to power on. Oh, it's not far enough. And that is the oldest installed beacon, and then we should be able to talk to the trader. Well, let's see here. Healing factors would be a really cool tech print to have. And a shock lance would be a really good weapon if we had mechanoids coming in. So I'll buy those two things. And here, as you can see, they drop close-ish. I'm going to apply the tech print and have Hippie... I'll have Hippie force the lance. Alright, tech print is applied. Cool. That's useful. Alright, Gabe's finally fully healed from the social fight. I don't, at the moment, have enough steel to build this. So a huge part of the bottleneck here is just going to be Gabe essentially mining enough steel for me to construct this new thing. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is let's prioritize the hospital. That will be the first big use of my steel and silver in this case. The Psychic Soothe is ended. Now, it's probably warm enough for me to call in a favor, too. So let's call in our ally here. Trade Caravan of Bulk Goods. And I'm going to give a throne speech. Hopefully an inspiring one. Everybody here could be inspired. Doesn't mean it will work. Now, I also want to update the unrestricted animal hauling. because the unrestricted animal hauling no longer should allow them in the future farm. So I might as well remove that from availability, nor should it allow them in the hospital, because animal filth in a hospital is not going to be good for me either. So unrestricted hauling. Well, also I have to update the hallways that they're allowed in. Same with the restricted hauling, because these hallways did just change. So the restricted hauling, again, will remove the hospital and the farm. And allow them to move about down here a bit more. Actually, they could go in there too. And then the pets inside doesn't really need to change much. Okay, that looks good. Good luck, Raptor. Please give a good speech, though. Encouraging. Great, and everyone was present for this one? The goods trader just left. And now some finishing touches. Of course, this room will also need its fair share of heaters too, and it will also want to be powered up. So let's run power through these walls. This old high-tech research bench is going to be broken down. You can't move them, so I'm sort of forced to rebuild them. But now this room is going to be nice and sterile. It will collect filth, surely. But my plan is to forbid one of the doors so it doesn't become a room that people commonly walk through. We're not quite at the point where we have to turn on our air conditioners, except for in the freezers, and the freezers are perfectly fine temperature. And there is a relatively nice base annexation, I must say. And I'll even be able to use this space for construction benches and the like, if I care to move them, to bring more space out here. Another thing I could do is add a way here for there to be a thorough. Oh, right, the meals. Oh God, I keep forgetting. But adding doors like here for there to be easy mode of transportation between, and then I can move my biofuel refinery, which to add a door here so that we can, move through more easily. So I'm gonna build a sarcophagus here and a door there. This biofuel refinery, I'm just gonna put here for lack of a better spot. This old sarcophagus gonna get deconstructed. It's gonna be a little gross, but then this storage here will allow strangers. Bury her. Good. And then we have a sort of a clear path to walk through now. Deconstruct the biofuel. And then if this butchery moves over there, we'll have the ability to create door in this location for much easier travel. All right, someone go for a meal, please. Someone eat. Bash is cooking. Nope. because I have very little time until that spoils. But I'm sure in the next 9 hours, someone will eat. As they absolutely defy that. All right, I am going to want the air conditioners sooner than later because it is going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. So without them, all this new base stuff is going to be a wash. So we'll get that set up. Come on, someone eat. And the base air conditioners are set to 62, so I have to lower these a bit. There we go. Raptor, thank you so very much. Congratulations. You're now my nutrient paste printer. And then we should haul these meals before they spoil. And they are now secured. Another thing I'd like to do is to move some of these sort of construction or crafting benches out of the way. So the herbal meds, the Natrimine, everything can kind of get tucked away much more efficiently with all this added room. Art bench. Go here, I guess. And then that just opens up a whole lot of space. Just a lot more pleasant to work in and around. And it is air conditioning time. Not a lot of them. Oh, speaking of a lot of them. Just a few. Okay, foul meat rotted away. That's how much time I had. Let's try to remove dark spots in the base. Dark spots means slow travel. So put a light here. So make sure it's all well lit. Yep, this is all lit. And now this hallway's lit. Now we have a research bonus for our hospital so that it researches faster. So if you take a look here, research speed factor has gone up to 120%, about 10% for the sterility, or the sterile tiles, and then 10% for the multi-analyzer. So even better. Eggs. Eggs. We'll just nest the eggs right in here. Got to keep them away from the crabs and the gorillas so they don't, eat the eggs. I will also need to be switching over from winter to summer. So summer brawler clothing and summer shooter clothing. Rolling off the line. Hippie here. Let's see. The utility of lances are allowed, so she should keep that on. Gabe, let's have you continue to mine steel because I haven't even built the farm yet, and I'm already steel poor. But here we go, the clothing swap. So this turret will be placed here, right where that old dead power is. That works perfect. And then we'll want, actually this can use the dead power. Gabe probably has been mining up gold, I'd imagine. No, my gold amount hasn't gone up. Because I know I didn't move, because that's been off. Because that's another thing I'm going to need But that's not as urgent as the steel. The steel is more urgent because of rearming and the like. And there we are. That is all the time I have, but just covering what we accomplished. We have a proper hospital, sterile, and it's also a laboratory. We have all of the makings for a new farm. Now, the only drawbacks to a new farm is it is going to it's going to stretch Gabe really thin. He has a lot of, he's got quite a lot of already demanding jobs of mining and farming the first farm. So the second farm is definitely going to put us into like critical, I don't have any more time left on my hands mode. But, you know, he does it for the colony. So maybe we can try to train up another farmer or something. We'll have to figure that out. And then we, of course, secured our nutrient paste room a little bit better. And we do have this Camp Loop Marauder encampment quest looming if we want it. I'm not sure if we're going to accept it, just because the rewards are sort of lackluster. And the camp loot is majority components, which we have almost 200 of, so we don't much need. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll catch you next episode. Farewell, everybody.